I find it hard sometimes to give criticism because when I'm watching, it looks like you don't want to ever be negative. You're really positive.
Yeah, and every once in a while, like somebody, their nerves gets the best of them, and they're singing like pitchy, and you know, I don't want the show to be fake. To where like that was fantastic. So to be able to say, you know, and be mindful of, you know, their emotions are there in front of all of the UK, and
how they do it, their nerves as
to
well.
to give them constructive criticism, be honest, so they could have something to take away and learn from is what I try to do.
And you've brought them all with you today, haven't you? Will has brought his contestants. So there they all are in our green rooms. We've got Tanya, Clara, Leah, Michelle, Hayley, and Jason. Hello, guys, and congratulations for getting through.
Hello. Thank you.
So Will's talking about you lot and saying, oh, how fantastic you are. What about him as a coach?
He's dope.
Is he strict with you, though?
They strict. I wouldn't say strict. He's honest.
He's honest.
Yeah.
He's honest. He's honest. And honest is the best policy, I suppose, Will, isn't it? 'Cause, I mean, you know what that's like being in the music business. It's a tough old business, isn't it? To get into and then stay relevant.
The thing that you find the most in our industry is that honesty is not the quality of the folks in our industry. So, and very, very rarely you come across people like Jimmy Iving, who is my mentor, the founder of Interscope Records, my partner at Beats.
I want to talk to you about mentors, actually, Will, because you fascinate me because, well, I actually wanted to ask you about your mum, because you have an incredibly strong mum, don't you? A single mum.
Yeah.
There she is, Deborah.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Deborah, and you credit her with keeping you on the straight and narrow in Boyle Heights, which is like a sort of might be the sort of the rougher end of LA. And you've gone on to mentor loads of kids yourself, haven't you? Pay for them to go through college.
Yeah. So I remember the day my mom said, because growing up we were on welfare. So I remember the day my mom said, hey, Willie, guess what? I'm like, what? I'm gonna get a job. And that puzzled me because my whole life my mom didn't have a job, right? So I was like, why? She's like, you know, I'm just tired now. You guys are older. Don't have to be the full-time mom now. So I'm just go get a job. I'm like, where are you gonna work at? She was like, well, I'm gonna work at the park with the kids to get them off the streets. So she did the after-school program with the kids. And so that was like when the Black Eyed Peas first started taking off, when I told her that I was going to move her out the ghetto. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna buy you a house one day, you'll see. So she said, you know, Willie, don't you make promises that you can't keep. Especially promises like that. I was like, no, Ma, you'll see, watch. How much is rent? Right? She was like, well, Willie, you know, we paid $100 bucks, 100 quid a month.
Yeah.
So when you're in government assistance, that's what you get. Your mom's on welfare, you have kids, and that was our life growing up.
Didn't she adopt when you were about 10? How was that as a 10-year-old? Because you look now as an adult and you think, what an amazing thing to do. But it must have been quite tough as a 10-year-old to have other children suddenly come and take a bit of mum's attention.
Yeah, so I don't see my sisters as adopted sisters. They're just as much as my sisters as my brother and my sisters.
Yeah.
And then, you know, she took that job and she worked there for, you know, another 20 years, right? So I was around 20 years old when she started working at the park at the after-school program. Then I moved her out 5 years later into, you know, so we grew up in a gang, you know, infested area, drugs and crime. And so I told her that I want to move her from the drive-bys to a Jewish community, which is nicer. So I said, I'm gonna move you from the drive-bys to the rabbis. So, 6 years ago, I started a school in the ghetto that I'm from. I started with 12-year-olds, 400, actually it was 65 at the time. Now that number has grown to 420 kids. Wow. Now I start
And is that a program of music? Is music involved in that?
No.
No.
Computer science, robotics, because I feel that the world is moving at such a rapid pace technologically with artificial intelligence. So if you were to take the budget that nations have to educate the kids versus companies to make their technology smarter, artificial intelligence outperforms group intelligence as far as the investment. So I like to, take every chance I get to make sure the kids are prepared for tomorrow so they can go out.
Brilliant.
As well, haven't you? Will,
because you were saying before your mum adopted 4 children. Is it something you would consider in the future, adopting children?
Yeah, so my best friend who I started Black-Eyed Peas with, his name is Alan Pineda. His stage name is Will.i.am. He was sponsored ever since he was 5 from the Philippines. So like, when you watch those late night TV programs, just 5 cents a day will help feed this child. So my best friend comes from one of those programs. Wow. So there wouldn't be a Black-Eyed Peas if it wasn't for Joe Ben Hudgens, who's from Scotland, who sponsored my best friend, who brought him to America when he was 14. And then we dreamt together and started a group called Black-Eyed Peas. And now he went back to his village and transformed his village by teaching kids computer science. So Black-Eyed Peas is together because of charity. And so
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.